Good morning, everyone. My name is Jagadeesh Sellappan, and today I want to talk about a fundamental conflict at the heart of modern technology. We call it the paradox of the AI right to be forgotten. Think about your digital life. Every time you like a photo, write an email, or apply for a loan, you leave a trail. Under laws like the GDPR, you have a right to be forgotten. The power to tell a company, delete my data. In a traditional database, this is straightforward. You find the row with your name, hit delete, and it's gone. But here is a paradox. Modern AI models do not just store your data, they learn from it. Your data becomes part of model's brain, its weights and biases. So what happens when the law says delete, but the AI cannot forget? Today, we'll explore why this is the next great frontier in AI ethics and engineering. To understand the scale of this problem, we need to look at the core principles of AI ethics that are directly at stake. First, privacy. GDPR Article 17 is not just a suggestion, it's a legal requirement. It gives you the right to have your personal data erased from all systems. And yes, that includes trained AI models. Then there is accountability. If a company says they deleted your data, but the data is still influencing how an AI behaves, have they really fulfilled their duty? This brings us to transparency and autonomy. We deserve to know how our data is used, and we must retain control over it even after it has been fed into a training pipeline. And finally, fairness. People with technical knowledge understand that the data may still exist inside a model, while most others assume that deleted means gone, when in reality it often isn't. Now, let's explore who's actually affected by this paradox. And in many cases, the harm reaches people who never expected to be impacted at all. This is not just a headache for lawyers, it affects everyone in the ecosystem, and in ways most people never expect. For data subjects, the harm is invisible. If a model was trained on your private medical records and the model is later attacked by hackers, your private information could be reconstructed through what we call inference attacks. You thought you were protected, you are not. For AI developers, the choice is a nightmare. Do you spend millions of dollars and weeks of time retraining a massive model from scratch just because one person asked to be deleted? Or do you try approximate unlearning, a shortcut that might not even work and cannot be verified? Compliance officers carry significant regulatory exposure. Under GDPR, an organization can face fines of up to 20 million euros for non-compliance. Yet, compliance officers currently have no reliable technical mechanism to verify that a deletion request has been satisfied within a trained model. And consider the downstream users. We force an AI to unlearn too much data. We risk catastrophic forgetting, where the model loses accuracy or start behaving unfairly for everyone else who relies on it. We are stuck between protecting the individual and maintaining a system that works for many. And finally, the deepest unintended harm is this. Machine unlearning is still in its early stages. The solution we have today are expensive, incomplete, and often hard to verify. The law assumes that this technology exists, but in reality it doesn't, at least not yet. Now, I want to explore this through three distinct lenses. Each represent a different stakeholder with a different set of values. Let me begin with the perspective of the data subject, the individual citizen. The issue is fundamental. A person's right to be forgotten is not a technical preference. Personal data is an extension of identity. When someone withdraws consent, that withdrawal must be real. Imagine a person who has escaped a domestic violence situation and wants their old address and history erased from the every digital record for their safety. To them, privacy is not setting. It's a matter of dignity and autonomy. The viewpoint is simple. If I no longer consent to you using my data, it should not exist in your systems. The argument follows directly. Technical complexity cannot override a legal right. Society does not accept it is technically difficult as a defense in other domains of law. We should not accept it here either. The burden of verifiable deletion must fall on the organization, not the individual who trusted them. And the common sense view is this: if I have the legal right to be forgotten, then we trained a model on your data should not be a valid excuse for non-compliance. The law must be enforceable, and right now it often isn't. Now let us step into the shoes of someone like me, the data architect. The issue is structural. A delete command in Snowflake does not delete from a trained model. The model is a static artifact trained at a point in time. After training, the data pipeline and the model are completely separate systems. Data lifecycle management stops at the warehouse boundary. Downstream AI pipelines are invisible to deletion commands. Our core values are integrity and precision. In engineering, a partial solution is not a solution. A soft delete that leaves behavioral traces in model weights is not a real deletion. We must hold AI systems to the same standards of completeness and verifiability that we hold data systems to. To solve this, we do not just need better algorithms, we need data lineage. We need tools that act like GPS, tracking exactly which record influences which part of the model. Until we can map that lineage, we are just guessing. For the architect, this is not just an ethical debate. It's an unsolved engineering problem that requires us to build deletion-ready pipeline from day one. The contrast with perspective 1 is this, where the data subject sees a rights violation. I see an engineering gap. Both are true, and that is precisely why this cannot be solved by law alone or by engineering alone. It requires both working together. Finally, we have the policymaker, the regulator responsible for building the legal architecture that governs AI. The problem they face is that laws like GDPR were written in a pre-generative AI world. They assumed deletion was a binary switch. Find the row, delete it, done. Now, regulators are realizing that without a clear technical standards defining what deleted means in an AI context, enforcement is nearly impossible. The core value here is justice and public trust. Laws without enforcement mechanisms are not just ineffective, they are actively harmful. They create the appearance of protection where little actually exists. And they erode the public's trust in both government and the technology it claims to regulate. The policymakers' argument is that we must mandate deletion by design. We should not be trying to fix models after they are trained. Instead, we should only allow the deployment of AI that is architecturally capable of forgetting. This is the only way to ensure the law remains enforceable in the age of ChatGPT and beyond. The synthesis across all three perspectives is this: the individual demands the right, the engineer can build the solution, and the policymakers must make the solution legally required and enforceable. All three must work together because none of them can solve this alone. So where does this leave us? We are at a crossroads where rights, engineering, and policy must finally meet. The right. We must accept that data autonomy is a fundamental human right that cannot be bypassed by technical excuses. The solution. We must invest in machine unlearning and data lineage. This must move from an academic theory to an industry standard. The mandate. Regulators need to provide clear technical compliance definitions so companies know exactly what they need to do to stay legal. To close, I want to leave you with this thought. The right to be forgotten is only meaningful if the technology can actually forget. We must move toward a future where deletion by design is not an afterthought, but the foundation of every AI we build. Thank you for your time.